The free agent running back class for 2026 is pretty impactful for the Dynasty landscape. Today we're going to break down. Listen, we got 8 names to talk about. 8 pretty solid name free agent running backs. Do we want to buy these guys? And what about their backups if they leave their team? Obviously, it's a next man up mentality. So we're going to be breaking down the running back free agent landscape for Dynasty. Some good buys, some holds, some sells, all that good stuff. We have some stuff we need to talk about, though, to set the scene. First things first. Who needs a running back in 2026? What teams are looking for running back depth? Honestly, I can't really think of much. Like, most teams are pretty solid at running back. Now, solid means solid. Everyone's always looking to get better than solid, right? Like, the Chiefs come to mind with Pacheco. The Saints, Kamara, he's got 1 year left on his deal, but this guy always is hurt, and he's not good. He lost his efficiency, major step down in 2025, so the Saints come to mind. And then really the final team that comes to mind is really the Texans. I mean, we're going to talk about Nick Chubb. This guy's washed. We're going to talk about Woody Marks. Was Woody Marks really the best fantasy asset in 2025? It was definitely a surprise, a welcome surprise if you took him late in the rookie redrafts. But I'm not saying the Texans have a great running back room either. With that said, the next thing we need to talk about, what is the running back market like in the actual draft? You know, who's to say the Texans need to go to free agency for a running back to replace Woody Marks when they can just go right into the draft and take the best class of running backs? It's not the best class of running backs ever. One name, Jeremiah Love. I got notes and notes and notes on these running backs for the draft, man. We already have great rookie redraft videos out on the channel. Let me just break it down real quick for you. It's very simple. I'm not even going to give you the scouting report. Jeremiah Love, top 10 draft pick, maybe top 6. He's OP. He's going to be Bijan. He's going to be, the next Breece Hall, better than Breece Hall. This guy's elite, a very good talent. There's one good running back in the draft. The next is 2 running backs. So you got S tier, and then you have 2 guys that are day 2, second, third round guys. And I'm not convinced that either one of them is going to excel. You got Jadarian Price, you got Jonah Coleman. One's great at rushing, one's great at pass blocking and catching. Very different skill sets in their repertoire. It's a weak draft class. Like, if you're thinking, oh, let me go get some running backs in the redraft this year, Jonah Coleman, Jadarian Price, you're probably looking at the 107, 108 in your first round. But the hit rate's not going to be great on those guys, in my opinion. So that's the running back landscape set. Now let's break down some of the best free agents this season and the outlook. Go join the Patreon if you want team reviews, trade advice, all that great stuff. Go join the Discord as well. We'll give you the best trade questions. Number 1 on the list is Mr. Etienne. Let's head over to Jacksonville. 26 years old. 27, really. So he's getting up there in age. Now, people that bought Travis Etienne going to 2025 were very happy with the results. This guy actually gave you, his second best season of his career. He had a great season in 2023. You can see bad season, good season, bad season, good season. Sure, that doesn't mean bad season's coming next year, right? But he was actually the RB12 in points per game, and everything was pretty solid. Like, his efficiency wasn't the best, but it was good. And what I'd like to see was his involvement in the receiving game. He is somebody that has a pass-catching role. Now, they brought in Breece in the 4th round of the 2025 draft, and sure, he was a pest, but it wasn't anything crazy. Now, people that are speculating that Etienne leaves in free agency, that would open up a major role for Mr. Breece. So is Breece going to be somebody you should be buying right now? Press that buy button quick. It really comes down to whether or not Etienne stays. Now, something important to note, and I don't even know if this guy's going to be on the site. You guys can check out Flock Fantasy for free. We're going to use it for our videos. It's a great tool. LaQuint Allen Jr., if Etienne leaves, LaQuint Allen's going to get an increase in snaps as well. This guy's a very good pass-catching back, third down back. Not great at running, but he's very good in the receiving game and on third down. So keep that in mind. Now, what do I think the odds are that Etienne comes back and Etienne signs? Travis Etienne and the Jaguars. The Jaguars have $10 million in cap space. We're going to talk about cap space for a lot of these teams in this video. Keep in mind, cap space can easily be restructured, and they're going to, pull all the tricks, all the cards out, and it's really just a number. But it is a good indication of whether or not they'll have the room. Think of the Kyren Williams deal. Kyren Williams got 3 years, 11 mil per year. I think there's a pretty good chance that Etienne actually re-signs with the Jaguars. Think of it like a dynasty perspective, but real life. The Jags are contending in my eyes, right? They're making the playoffs. Their offense is now elite. Trevor Lawrence just had a QB5 season. You have BTJ, who didn't even play well, and the Jags still played very well. Jacoby Myers is there. Parker Washington's now decent. This Jaguars team is contending. We didn't even mention Travis Hunter, who didn't even do anything all season long. So I'd be surprised if they didn't bring Etienne back on, a similar deal to Kyren Williams, 3 years, $11 million, which actually does mean that this could be a good buy window for Travis Etienne. If we just look at the overall rankings right here, and this is on flockfantasy.com, which flockfantasy.com, these guys know what they're doing. The rankings are actually going to be pretty solid. Take a look, like Terry McLaurin, he's way up there in age. I think I'd rather have the shot on Etienne. Kenneth Walker, someone we're going to talk about in this video. Now, we're also going to be going to Keep Trade Cut as well, because Keep Trade Cut is a terrible tool, but it's an amazing tool to use in defense of your scam offers to your teammate. So Travis Etienne is somewhere around here in these rankings, number 82. So a late first round pick or Travis Etienne. Honestly, the late first, if you're 110, 111, 112, there's a whole value cliff, so honestly, I don't mind that. But if I'm going for Etienne, I'd rather trade a player that I know is less upside than Etienne himself than be trading that late first, like Jordan Mason. Absolute trash. Jordan Mason's got to go. Kyle Monangai. I'd be shocked if the Bears don't bring back Swift or somebody else as well. So Monangai, I'm fine. I mean, I would much rather have someone like Travis Etienne. Second running back we got to talk about today is Breece Hall. Now, Breece Hall, the number one thing you need to know is that, yes, he's a free agent. And yes, he wants out of New York. Who wouldn't blame him? Take a look at his points per game. Very good, and trash in 2025, right? So he had a bad season. It's as simple as that, but the Jets are the worst team I've ever seen in my entire life. Important note. Yes, he's a free agent. You might be thinking to yourself, oh, baby, Breece is gone. Let me get Isaiah Davis. Let me get Braylon Allen. We're going to be feasting with those two scrubs. Unfortunately, the Jets will be manipulating the system and keeping Breece Hall. Why? They could have traded him, for a second or third round pick, I believe, to the Chiefs at the trade deadline in 2025. Boom, 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 do the math. They did not. Why didn't they? If he was just going to leave after the season, they weren't playing for. He's not leaving. They're going to franchise tag Breece Hall. The franchise tag means you are trapped, buddy. Put him in the cage. You're trapped. So he's going to be trapped here for another year, most likely. So with that said, Breece Hall in New York for another season, it's not terrible, but I do think Breece Hall is currently boosted up the rankings a little bit higher, because people are saying, oh, what if he goes elsewhere? What if he goes elsewhere? I'd wait for that to die down. Like, he's going to re-sign with the Jets, and I think that might hurt his value when that news comes out. Because if we look at the rankings here, let's just go try and find Breece Hall. He should be, right here, look at that, 54. Like, I'd rather have BTJ than Breece Hall. I'd rather have Ladd than Breece Hall. I'd rather have, Laporta's tough. Saquon is tough. Like, honestly, if you trade Saquon for Breece Hall, I think it's a lateral move. I think, you're really just chasing the long-term aspect that Breece Hall gives you, whereas with Saquon, you're not sure how much more he's got in the tank before things die down. But I do think Breece Hall currently is a bit overvalued. Like, there's not much mystery. There's not much you can, gain. If you, look at the guys around, Adunze, Fannin, I like those names. And if we're looking at draft picks, a 2027 mid-first, I'd hold on to that. And then you're really looking at a 2026 mid-first or Breece Hall. And you're probably not even going to get that deal done, so it's like a mid-first and some. I'd probably stay away from the situation, and I wouldn't be selling the team to go get Isaiah Davis or Braylon Allen, because Breece is probably coming back. This is an interesting one, and it's a fun one. Javonte Williams. Now, the Dallas Cowboys and Javonte Williams, they revived this guy's career. Keep in mind his career injured, banged up, blah, blah. He's back. He was back in a big way in 2025. Sure, he missed a couple games with injury, but he played the majority. He was actually good. 75 rush yards per game. He was there in the receiving game as well, which with a surprisingly low receiving total average, so only 8 yards receiving per game. I think that could go up in the future. This Cowboys offense is very, very good. Now, George Pickens is going to be a priority re-sign for the Cowboys as well. The Cowboys are very bad in cap space. Cowboys have negative $29 million in cap. I think a lot of that is Dak. I think Dak's in like $60 million this year or something like that. So they're going to restructure, but it would be hard for them to bring back Javonte. Javonte hasn't even turned 26 yet. He's got another 2 to 3 years in the tank. It's just a matter of, injury concerns and whether this guy can stay elevated. The main thing he had going for him in Dallas is the touchdown rate. The touchdown rate was very, very high. And that's going to be the same thing if he stays in this Cowboys offense. So Javonte is very dependent on staying in Dallas. And the way it looks, I would say there's a good chance he doesn't re-sign. I'm sorry. I mean, I think the Cowboys would be silly to let Javonte go. I think they'd be silly to let George Pickens go. But at some point, you can't sign everybody. And we know Jerry Jones is going to mess with the contract stuff. Jerry Jones is going to be like, oh, we want a team-friendly deal. It's really a matter of whether or not Javonte gives them that team-friendly deal. So with that said, I think we have a kind of a Breece Hall situation here as well. I want to come in here and I want to see where's Javonte ranked. 86. So you know what? That is actually quite low in the Keep Trade Cut rankings. You're looking at a 2026 late first or Javonte Williams. Give me Javonte Williams. Like, even though I'd say there's maybe 30% chance he comes back to Dallas, I'm taking those odds. Because if Javonte comes back to Dallas on a 3-year, $33 million deal, bam, bam, he's now an RB2 or better in fantasy for the next 3 years. So I think Javonte has a good shot. And even if Javonte goes elsewhere, I think we've seen that he is somebody that can produce. It's just a matter of what that situation is. You probably would drop him a little bit in the rankings, but nothing crazy. Like, you're talking about packaging 2 second-round picks and a player to get Javonte, and that's something I'm fine with. You know, who would the Cowboys replace Javonte with? Jadon Blue. We'll see Jadon Blue. When I'm recording this, it's the Sunday of Week 18. We'll see if Jadon Blue plays well because Javonte's out. I don't really know who the next man up will be. Malik Davis, no. Like Jadon Blue, I'd be shocked if they stuck with one of those scrubs. So we'll see what happens here, but that's the outlook on Javonte. Kenneth Walker. What's interesting here with Kenneth Walker is we don't know the Zach Charbonnet Kenneth Walker situation is very, very weird. But what we can break down is that the Seattle Seahawks, they might want to keep this guy. He's been pretty efficient. Like 14 carries a game, 64 rush yards. It's been the most efficient season of his career. His touchdown rate has been dramatically down, which has, obviously capped his points per game. Between Kenneth Walker and Zach Charbonnet, it seems like Zach Charbonnet kind of took a bit of the receiving work this season from Kenneth Walker as well. They were pretty much even in terms of the amount of receiving work they were getting. And honestly, Zach Charbonnet had more points per game than this guy. So it's a very weird situation, but Kenneth Walker does still look like he has juice in the tank. And there's going to be a team out there that probably might want to come re-sign him. I'd say it's close to 50-50 on whether or not Kenneth Walker comes back. A lot of it comes down to how do they value Zach Charbonnet. We're going to have to see the Seattle Seahawks in the playoffs. We're going to have to monitor this situation. Kenneth Walker's not necessarily somebody that is like out of the realm of possibility. NFL teams need running backs. It's funny, right? I was doing some research earlier just to see, what's the landscape looking like. But I think that Kenneth Walker is in this realm of pretty decent value, like 87th overall. Kyle Monangai or Kenneth Walker. I don't really see a world in which Kyle Monangai is like the alpha back. He could be that power back, goal line in the Bears, but there definitely are players that you can move on from to go get Kenneth Walker in the hopes that they eventually move on from Charbonnet or that Walker goes elsewhere. I think it's a good value buy. Tyler Allgeier, we got to talk about as well. Tyler Allgeier, 50-50 on whether or not the Falcons bring him back. They have the cap space to do so. This guy has an insane red zone role. He is like Jamal Williams. He is the red zone back. You put him in, hammer down, he gets in the end zone. Look at his touchdown rate. 1 touchdown every 2 games. We've never seen this guy really have a high receiving role, which worries me because if he goes elsewhere, is he just going to be that same goal line back? I do think that if Allgeier goes elsewhere, people are saying this guy's either treating him like he's going to be, Barry Sanders. No. He'll probably be RB2 and flex consideration if he goes elsewhere with the starting job. Allgeier as RB1, like this guy's been waiting in the wings of Bijan Robinson for his whole career. And if we do see him go elsewhere, it's time to spread those wings and see what he's made of. And I'm really thinking we're looking at like 12, 13 points per game. People are overreacting saying it's going to be much higher. But it doesn't really matter. It's only 12 points per game. It's all about value in Dynasty. He's ranked 151st. That is where I get excited. Because let's look at the value. I can sell scrubs for this guy. Kayshon Boutte, see you later, buddy. Mark Andrews, he just got his contract. I don't know. Parker Washington, he also has upside. So we're looking at AJ Barner. We'll smell you later, buddy. You're gone. 2nd round picks. In fact, it looks like I'm about to go send some trade offers after this video. The 2nd round pick value in 2026 is quite low. Would I rather have Nick Singleton, Katron Allen, or Tyler Allgeier? I've seen Tyler Allgeier, and he looks pretty dang athletic in real life. And if he signs elsewhere, he's going to be pretty solid. So this is a true 50-50 coin toss. The hit rate on 2nd round picks are going to be 10% this season. I'm just telling you, it's going to be 10%. Whereas with Tyler Allgeier, there's a 50% chance he goes somewhere else to be, a 60% snap share running back. So I would definitely keep that in mind with him. We got a couple more names. We got 3-ish more names of free agents that we're going to break down those situations. Next one up, we're going to go with J.K. Dobbins. J.K. Dobbins, I'm not buying this guy because you're buying in to 10 to 12 games played per season. Whether or not the Denver Broncos bring him back, I don't really care because they have RJ Harvey. They invested the draft capital on RJ Harvey. And RJ Harvey, with Dobbins, look at Dobbins early in the season. Yeah. Dobbins was good. And then he lost steam, and then he was obviously injured. And then RJ Harvey is actually the exact opposite. RJ Harvey, trash. And then he picks up steam. Because guess who's gone? Dobbins. You're gone, buddy. So I'd be shocked if the Broncos keep Dobbins. And if they do keep Dobbins, it's going to be a $1 million, very team-friendly deal. Just because Dobbins is efficient, he's effective when he's healthy early in the season, but he can't stay healthy. And they just have this younger, not much younger, because this guy, again, old rookie from 2025, but they have RJ Harvey waiting in the wings. So I think RJ Harvey might be somebody that's a good value buy, because it seems like RJ Harvey is going to be the lead back for the Broncos. He has the receiving skill set. Look at the receiving role, 6'5", 6'4", 3. The targets per game are high, and he's got the red zone work as well. RJ Harvey is actually somebody I'm gonna pull him up in keep trade cut just because, dang, 65th overall, 2026 mid first. Again, the mid first, like if you are the 107, the 108, and you don't want a quarterback, you don't want Kenyon Sadiq, and you don't want Jonah Coleman or Jadarian Price, yeah, I like the buy of RJ Harvey. I actually really do. Didn't think I was going to, but keep in mind he's old. Keep that in mind. But I think you're gonna have a couple of years of RJ Harvey bell cow back. Isaiah Pacheco is the next name. The Chiefs' tenure of Isaiah Pacheco seems to be up. The cap space, I think the Chiefs are 32nd in cap space, like negative 30 million for the cap. So they're in a bad spot here. They're not going to prioritize bringing back Isaiah Pacheco, running back. He obviously had the great 2023 year, but then beyond that, injuries, and not great. In 2024, what I want to say is that he actually did average 15 points per game the first 3 weeks. Then he broke his leg, came back, and didn't play. Now, we did see in 2025, he wasn't able to come back from that injury. Maybe it's just that it was such a gruesome injury that, it takes more time. If you look at the snap share data in 2025 as well, didn't really play as much snaps as he did in 2023, but the efficiency was awful. This guy was not a high draft pick either, so you could just say, oh, what if 2023 was a fluke? And if Pacheco goes elsewhere, I do see him still just being like that 50 to 55% snap share back. He's a hard runner on the ground. The real reason he didn't play great either was the red zone usage. They would always just bring in Kareem Hunt this season. You can see only 1 touchdown every 10 games, so really bad touchdown usage. And his receiving usage wasn't great either. With that said, he is low in the rankings. 160 on flockfantasy.com. Let's go check him out on Keep Trade Cut. Because now, again, we're looking at second round picks for a guy where, there's some upside for sure. Let's check him out. He might not even be in the 2-3. I'm going to be sick. This is where, I start salivating. And you should too. Because the second round pick, honestly, I'm taking Nick Singleton and Kaytron Allen. Let me re-roll instead of getting this bum Isaiah Pacheco. But now we're into the third round. The third round. In 2025, the third round, I was eating, man. I had Fannin in there. I had Gatson. I drafted both those guys. My third round in 2025, Woody Marks, Harold Fannin, and I took Gatson. I also took Gunnar Helm in the fourth. But again, I was feasting. I was trading. I was in the third round. I was making moves. So you guys are in the right spot, the right channel to capitalize in the third round. But honestly, trading a third or a fourth round pick, like a fourth and a player for Pacheco, yeah, I don't mind that move at all. Because there's a world where he gives you 10 points per game. He gives you running back depth in 2026. Not sexy, but you're trading actual scrubs, especially the players around him like Emmanuel Wilson. We'll probably keep Kendrick Miller just because we don't know the Evan Ingram situation. All these guys above him like Aaron Jones, get rid of him while you still can. Colby Parkinson, Isaiah Bond, Cedric Tillman is nobody, whereas Pacheco has a chance to still be decent. Final name of the video is Nick Chubb. It doesn't matter whether or not this guy re-signs. He's not good. We're not buying Nick Chubb. You can't really sell him for anything. No one's going to be that silly, that stupid. So really, a way to break down here is the Woody Marks impact. If Nick Chubb does not re-sign, Woody Marks is looking solid. Like he actually was a surprisingly good, rookie. They invested a lot into this guy. Keep in mind, I think they paid up 3 third-round picks or 2 third-round picks to actually move up and get him. But Woody Marks did not have as high of a receiving role as I would have expected. Woody Marks' skill set coming out, we all thought, oh, they would have Joe Mixon in there, but Woody Marks, he brings an insane receiving skill set. Instead, a lot of it really was just rushing. And, he didn't have as much of a receiving role as we expected. You have Abuguale, say it 10 times fast, in there, stealing some of that receiving third down work. Woody Marks, though, I think there's a world where Woody Marks, the Texans just say, listen, we're going to re-roll it. Maybe we'll draft somebody in round 5. We'll get a Nick Singleton, Katron Allen, Justice Haynes, Hollywood Sanders if he was to declare. One of those guys. We'll get one of those scrubs in the draft, and then we'll just re-roll it with Woody Marks. I think there's a pretty solid probability where that plays out. Rather than Nick Chubb coming back, and even if Nick Chubb comes back, I'm not worried. He'll probably vulture the red zone role. But Woody Marks, his outlook does look pretty solid. He is fairly ranked. I'm not trading first-round picks for him. But if you're sending a second-round pick for Woody Marks, yeah, I do think that's a fair deal. That's the running back outlook for 2026. Go join the Patreon, join the Discord. Let me know any questions down below. Thanks for watching.